The James Harden step back. Is it really a travel? Today we're gonna dig into the truth about this, and I'm gonna show you how you can use what Harden does to your advantage so you can add something similar to your game in a completely legal way. And of course, we're gonna answer the question if it's illegal or if it's not. Coach Jesse Muench with Get Handles Basketball, where we train harder and smarter so you can play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you click that subscribe button and that bell icon so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out. Before we jump into it, leave me a comment. Let me know, is James Harden step back a travel or no? So let's dig into this. So the technique that James Harden does that's driving the whole internet and the entire world of basketball wild is something that really takes advantage of hand positioning and pickup timing. So when he does it, it really looks bad. It looks like he's taking like 3-4 steps. But the key to pay attention to on most of them is his hand placement and positioning when he's taking those steps. So this topic actually came up in a Jason Williams video breakdown I did, where I showed a move where he skips and then picks up the basketball and do his 2 steps. And a lot of people said, you can't do that, that's a travel. And the reason people said was because you can't have basketball in your hands and hop on the steps. True, you cannot do that. You can't hop on the same foot. The key with that move, and also like the James Harden step back, is the timing and the hand positioning. Big that you understand that, because a lot of players, they were still like linking me to videos and stuff and being like, no, that's still a travel. It's not a travel if you do it right. So there's 2 concepts we need to talk about here. First of all, the 0 step, one thing James Harden uses to his advantage on his step back. And then 2, your hand positioning with that gather, okay? So your steps, according to the rule book, and this is from the head of the NBA officials, do not count until your hand comes under the basketball or both hands have come on the basketball. So if your hand is here, 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 here in a completely legal dribble motion, just one hand like that, you're good to go. None of your steps count. So like with that Jason Williams move where he skips, if your hand's in that position, which I say in that video, if you do that, you can skip with the same foot coming up and down when you're dribbling. You can do that all day and it's completely legal, right? So before your gather, you're still allowed to do that as long as your hand doesn't come halfway under the ball in any side. Same thing that James Harden does on his step back. He'll go into the crossover and he'll keep his hand in this position on the side, not quite under, and he'll take that first little step back in. And then from there, he'll pop back with 2 hands on the basketball and then take another step. So you might say, well, that's boom, 2, 3 steps. That's where the gather step or the 0 step comes into play. Now, before I get too in depth with the gather step and the 0 step, I want to make sure we're clear on a couple things. Sometimes James Harden does travel on his step back because he picks up the ball at the wrong time or his hand comes under the basketball, but it's hard for refs to catch everything quick. The second thing is, for younger players, a lot of this kind of stuff, if it looks weird to a ref, they're still probably going to call you for a travel. It really just depends on your league and how your refs call things, so you'll want to keep that in mind and adjust your game accordingly to how refs are calling things for you. The 0 step. If you watch almost any player on their layup, they're going to pick up the basketball here, 1, 2, and then go up for a layup. But when they do it full speed, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like a travel. And if you're watching me here, boom, that probably looks like a travel when you slow it down, right? According to the rule book, at least in the NBA, you can gather the basketball on your first step. That's your 0 step. Then your steps count, so you get your 1, 2 from there on your layups. Same thing applies to any basketball move, including the step back that James Harden does. So what he does is he'll pick up the basketball when these feet are in here, and then he'll hop back 1, 2. That's why it really looks like a travel, because he's already taking that 1 step back when this hand's on the basketball. That's taking advantage of the hand positioning, and the step's not counting yet. In fact, I've seen players stutter step into a shot. If you look, that's like 1,000,000 steps, right? Again, completely legal as long as your hand's over the basketball in a legal dribble position. But he does the same thing. Takes that step back on that first step when the hand's in a legal position. Comes back in. Now, this is his 0 step. Boom, boom is his 1, 2. It looks weird, and the reason why is because he's exploiting both of those rules. There are times that he does travel with it. But again, for the most part, when he does it, according to the NBA rulebook, it's completely legal. So as far as how you can apply this to your game, I probably wouldn't mess too much with picking up the basketball and then going 1, 2 step. Most refs are just going to call that a travel no matter what. But you could play around more with your hand positioning and being in a legal dribble position before picking up the basketball. And some refs might let you get away with that. In fact, a lot of them might, depending on the movement. Like something like this, and then going into a step back, that's probably going to get called. But if you do something a little more simple and not so crazy, kind of like that skip that I showed you before, or a stutter step into a jump shot, no step back at it in, you'll probably get away with it more often than not. Click that like button, click that subscribe button, and that bell icon so you can catch the newest videos the second they come out.